Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another Kickstarter critique where I take a look at a different Kickstarter tabletop game project every weekday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Give my honest thoughts on how that project is being ran. Ahoy there, Ricardo! I do want to give you a quick show note. I will not be doing a show tomorrow. I'm going to be attending my son's 5th grade graduation ceremony, or it's a thing like that. So no show tomorrow, but back on Thursday. And today, as much as I would love to cover Mythwind, because I legitimately am excited for Mythwind, that's one of my Grail games. I did a Kickstarter critique for it like a year or so ago, and it looks super duper cool. I'm actually going to be checking out something that I have absolutely no interest with at all, and that is Super Boss Monster from Brother Wise Games. I played it. I thought it was fine. I don't get what all the hubbub is about, but I know a lot of people really love this game. Hey there, C. Goody. So, needless to say, I'm excited to see what they do. Looking at the main image, they're like, hey, I know, let's go nostalgia instead of functionality. So, we've got a box shaped like an old Super Nintendo box with their game, and what's player like time count age cut off so small I can't see it, which I don't know if they were really trying to focus on that spotlight, but I'd love it if they just smush this over a little to the left and put that useful information over there. But after a decade of dungeon building fun, Boss Monster is leveling up, brand new mechanics, all new art, but 100% backwards compatible. Ooh, brand new mechanics. Well, I didn't like the original game that much, so now I actually am a little bit more excited. Hopefully they do a good job of spotlighting exactly what is new and what is different, because I know there's quite a few people that treat Boss Monster a little bit like, say, Munchkin or games of that ilk, where, yeah, I played it when I first got into the hobby, but then I eventually outgrew it once I realized that, let me rephrase this, I want to sound like an elitist, once I found games that I liked better. After a decade, so, yeah, main image though, meh, nostalgia, don't care, if I don't know what Boss Monster is, whatever. I do like the fact that they are spotlighting that this is a redoing of it, which implies the can you do it aspect of it, because we already did do it. Boss Monster, ugh, that's how I feel as well. Wow, 650K already. That does, like I said, this is massively popular. I see this game at conventions, when they're running the booths. People absolutely adore this game. They love this game. I don't quite get it. I don't need to quite get it. As always with the video, I'm thinking 3 things. Do I want it? Can you do it? How much is it? And I do love the fact that you mentioned it's 100% backwards compatible as well. So kudos on that. I want to give that a big shout out. Let's go, because that's a question everyone's inevitably going to ask. $50,000 goal. Jiminy Christmas, that's a big goal.
For 10 years, one dungeon building card game has ruled the tabletop, with over 1 million copies sold and an army of expansions.
So can you do it? Can you do it? Can you do it? That is what they're focusing on in the first 10 seconds. I don't have an issue with that at all. Once again, you need to reestablish your brand for the people who do not know your brand, which is going to be most people. Let's be quite frank. There is literally, this is not being hyperbolic, 1,000+ board games that are going to come out this year. I know that sounds insanity. Insane. Sounds insane. But it's true. So yeah, you gotta, I feel like this is a good start.
Players across the country and around the world, one Boss Monster has reigned supreme. But change is inevitable, and a final boss has taken the field. Super Boss Monster is the next generation of Boss Monster. Whether you're a new player or...
Looks good set up on the table. Looks fun. It's once again, just itching that nostalgia bug right there. If you're a fan of NES, SNES style games, the art style, even just the way the board looks kind of reeks of nostalgia here, which I think is a good thing to do there. Nostalgia sells.
Or an experienced villain. Just like the original Boss Monster, your job is to build the perfect dungeon to lure and destroy pesky heroes. Let too many heroes stack up in town, and they'll move to the town's landmarks, gaining boosts that make them tougher to slay.
This is a really good, brief, but still informative look at how the core game flows. Kudos so far.
Action spots not occupied by heroes can be activated by your minion for game-changing strategies that can make or break your turn. The board also gives you more control over building rooms. Now you'll draft cards from a central market.
So once again, that was one of those little things that you might not notice if you weren't paying attention, but that was specifically aimed at people who know the original game and either like or dislike it. If you dislike it, like I did, let me rephrase that. I didn't hate it. I just was like, it's fine. But this is great that they're spotlighting that. I think that's really good. That's what I mentioned before we even got into the video. I hope that's what they do, and they're doing it within the first minute. Kudos.
Allowing you to fine-tune your dungeon like never before. All your original Boss Monster sets are 100% compatible with Super Boss Monster. And you can store the entire collection in the new Boss Monster Big Box.
How much is it? We're banging that drum because, once again, if you're a Boss Monster fan, major Boss Monster fan, minor Boss Monster fan, you're probably asking that question. Is it all going to fit in one big box? And now the question has been answered, and you probably want that big box. So I got to say, I really think this is a well-done video.
Draft rooms, build your dungeon, draw in heroes, and destroy them. Back and badder than ever, it's Super Boss Monster. Super Boss Monster. Now you're slaying with power.
Third of a point grade bump up. Great video. Great video. I think that's good for newcomers. I think it's good for returning backers. Great. Just great. And once again, Oniro, I think they're called. Yeah, Oniro does really quality videos. And nice, putting your website in there. Kudos. So after the video, do I want it? Yeah. I personally don't, because it's just not a game that I really want to go back and revisit, but I'm intrigued. I would like to retry it, and if I'm newer to this, it looks fun, and if I'm a returning fan, I absolutely want this, so I think that was a really great video. Yes, I don't have a problem with Boss Monster, just doesn't do anything for me. I want to like it, I just don't. See, Goody said it right out of my mouth. That's not how the expression goes either. Brotherwise Games was founded by two brothers who are obsessed with tabletop games and geek culture. We make games that bring together to the table, that bring everyone to the table. Glad you trademarked that. Bridging core and casual players with titles like Boss Monster, Call to Adventure. Oh God, I hate Call to Adventure. Overboss, Night of the Ninja. I do like that one. Empire's End. All right, so we got 3 people in here along with Christopher, so we should have some good customer service here. Links are working. Yep. Links look good. You don't want any dead links. All right, let's go check out the Can You Do It? I'm not particularly worried, to be honest with you. Dungeon Cart, that was a really nice one as well. Empire's End. Stormlight Premium Miniatures. They made $1 billion because they were able to milk off a little bit of that Brandon Sanderson teat, which is a great teat to milk off. Honestly, that's one of the best teats you can possibly milk off right now. Go check out Backer Kit. You're like, what? Why would I go check out Backer Kit? Because they just had a $20 million project. It's like a book or some crap, so who the hell cares? But if you do care, you can go there, and wowzers. So yeah, Brandon Sanderson, he's a good one to attach your horse to. All right, comments. Let's make sure people got their stuff. I just moved. Where do I go to find my mailing address? Any possibility for a Gen Con pickup? So this one is not out yet. I believe this one is out. I think this one hit and didn't really land that much. Quick, we reached our Spiral Galaxy, seeing an upgrade on fulfillment after a few backers raised concerned about their timeline. Please note that was a mistake, and UK fulfillment will begin next week. Oh, so no, it's not out. No, that was 5 months ago. Cool. Oh, this is pinned. God, I hate that. All right, let's get to the actual useful, most recent one. Still waiting on Australia. No info yet. Contacted Brotherwise 2 times via email in the last weeks. No respond. Anyone still waiting, or is it just me? Well, no one responded to Linda, so that's good. But once again, the fact that they pinned this 5-month-old post is probably why no one responded to Linda. This is... I love the fact that you can now pin posts on here, but it's... A lot of companies will use it to unethically hide things they don't want other people to see. And I'm not trying to imply that that's what they're doing right here. It's just I've seen other more shady companies do that. So they're in there. They're responding, at least to that one, not to that one. But I believe the game is out. So I guess I'm wrong. Update status, October 16th. Oh, yeah. So this one's totally out of October 16th is the last update. Either that or they're... Guys, it's been 3 months since the last update. Haven't heard anything. What's going on? Still waiting for product, even though it's released to retail. Haiti news on the delivery status for Mexico. Hola, amigo. Yeah, I think that's... I'm also waiting, too. This game finally came. Comes to my home in Tokyo, and the Japanese edition is sold already in the middle of last month. It's so frustrating. Haven't received tracking number in Mexico yet. Haven't received anything yet in the U.S. Haven't received my tracking number yet in the U.S. I'm glad you took the time to answer that one, Jillian, and then ignore all the rest of them. All the regions of very large entity. Oh, yeah. That makes it look even worse that you just picked that one and responded to it. The rest of you are like, whatever. So can you do it? I'm going to go with yes if you're inside the United States of America, and I would probably just wait until retail if you're not, because quite frankly, it looks like retail is going to be quicker than you're going to get it from them. Shots fired, but not really. That's just what the backers are saying. And that, unfortunately, is something that happens with a lot of international shipping. Okay, and then Stormlight, Premium Miniatures, whatever. Don't really care, but let's make sure these are out. They're probably not. Early February, but in February, then in sight. For anyone still waiting for your initial order, here's why. Oh, cool, it is up. Great. People like their stuff? Great minis? Hello, any backers stopping by these comments. If you're here at this point, it's probably because you're having challenges with your order. Oh, they tried to get in front of the bus. As of today, we sent over 24,000 shipping. We're down to a handful of remaining. That's a great thing to do. Honestly, using this to your advantage. Saying, hey, there's an issue, but we're addressing it. Cool. Good stuff. Then Castles by the Sea. We'll check out this one as well. But can you do it? Overall, I feel solid, especially in the United States of America, which is going to be where the majority of people most of the time are going to be. Yeah, as you can see. So, super cheap, appeals to oh, well, somebody's talking about the price. I love super cheap. Shipping update, received a couple. This is from September 5th, so yeah, we're cool. Can you do it? I'm going to go with a yes, but once again, if you're outside the United States of America, probably just wait till retailer. What about the rest of the world? Still haven't heard anything in Australia. Man, customer service here. Let's play the fun customer service game. And I know this one is an older project, but let's see when's the last time they responded. After contacting support, I now have my backer kit add-ons, but still no sign of my actual Kickstarter rewards. With some help from the kind brotherwise support, my rewards finally arrived today. Very pleased to have it all sorted out. Any update for Canada? So you're probably sick of me. My game's finally arrived, but there are no issues still. There are issues. Stuff missing. I've emailed support. Icky. Yeah, so it looks like pretty not great customer support outside the United States of America. So outside the USA, wait for it. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Super Boss Monster, Super Power Dungeon Building Card Game. Boss Monster goes next day. New town board, which looks really slick. 30 minutes. I would honestly make that bigger on the marquee, as I mentioned a little bit earlier. Now with the solo mode, once again, why it's super important to mention this a little bit bigger on the marquee. Because now I actually am a little bit excited. There's still not a board game out there that captures retro videoing spirit as well as blah, 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 whatever. This quote is literally, hey, you like nostalgia? Here's some nostalgia. Overview, draft cards at the beginning, everything. Cool. How to play. Pledge is $30. That's a great price. Retail edition. So nobody's going to buy this, but it's nice that it's there. It's cheap. Then we got the Boss Deluxe edition. Everything from this edition. So $15 more gets you neoprene town map. Love to know the exact dimensions of this. It feels lazy that it's not there, because even if you got like a rough draft, like, we're still working on it, but this is roughly the size we think. It's inevitably the question everyone wants to know, right? I mean, it's not a deal breaker if I don't know it, but I'd like to know. 32 wooden heart tokens. That's fine. $15 bump up. Super Boss. Get the big box and get the deluxe edition. The final boss. Big, everything included in the Super Boss plus 4 neoprene player mats. Ooh. So this is deluxe edition, right? Collector's big box exclusive card set, 5 and 6 player expansion. Oh my god, I bet that drags. 2 extra Minion meeples. Cool. Ultimate starter, you get everything. Great. This is what I want to see. This is exactly what I want to see. That being said, I still imagine I'm going to make a prediction. Ooh, this is a hard one. This is a really hard one because Bauer's Law says this is going to be the most popular. But I also have noticed time and time again, returning backers dominate the support section way more than new backers to the project. So I'm going to guess this is the most popular pledge level. No, I'm going to guess this one is. Man, yeah, I think Bauer's Law is going to be broken. I'm excited to check it out. I love when companies have this number of pledge levels so that I can exactly see how people shop. If it's the same size as the original playmat, why not list it? Bingo. All right, so follow the campaign, $1, $4.60. We got the, oh, wow, 30. You almost have a 500 print run of this. That's impressive. Typically, this would be like 50, 70, 80 people on that. The Boss, $8.45, so double that. We have the Super Boss, $6.80. Oh, I was wrong. This one, $3,237. Final Boss, that makes sense. And let's see what that number is. Is it roughly 9 or 10 to 1? It's hard to tell because of how they did this. And then $13.50. Wow. Good for them. Good for them. Third of a point grade bump up on these. That is 2 third of a point grade bump ups. We are cruising towards a good grade here. And the reason why is every single one of these pledge levels nearly has a 500 print run. That is unheard of. That is knowing exactly what your customer base wants, except for retail pledge, which once again, we're not counting that. If you have a 500 print run of your retail pledge, well then holy Jiminy Christmas, I want to buy stock in your company because that's absurd. So great. This is great. They knew exactly who to mark, and then 1,300 of this. And I really want to pause to let you know why. This is so damn good for them. This is a 1,500 print run of every single piece of Boss Monster they have ever made. Just imagine that from a publisher's perspective, launching a Kickstarter, one Kickstarter, and then all these other projects, all these tiny boxes that are shaped like Game Boy games and the ones that are shaped like NES games. Oh, I wonder if the future one's going to be a Nintendo 64 box. That'd be cool. 1,500 print run. Just kudos. I can't get over it. I can't get over it. That's just such good for them. Good for them. Stretch goals. Social stretch goals. 250 likes. I adore Boss Monster because it flips the script. Whether it's a friends or family game night, Boss Monster always gets high praise. Okay, I don't have a problem with this quote. Once again, they're pretty much saying that it's a chameleon style game a little bit, where it's gonna fit into just about any situation, friends, or if you're playing with your family. And I do think it's a good quote because that's important to know. Social stretch goal, 250 likes on BGG. I'll give it to you. Oh, you got 280. Never mind. I'm not giving it to you. You already got it. Agents of Chaos. Ooh, so we're interweaving social stretch goals with regular stretch goals, and I kind of dig that. I guess there's only one, but maybe that's because it's unlocked. Maybe we're gonna have a separate section where it's other stuff that's not unlocked. Interesting. Typically, I would say I would put this higher, but honestly, it's so high up, and I feel like it's so long that I don't know if I'd put it in front of the pledge area. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is one of the few times I'd say I feel like this is really nicely placed just because of how long it is. Because this feels longer than the actual pledge area itself. Let me know what you think about that. Either way, I feel like we're splitting hairs, and I love leading off with that as a 1-2 punch. King for a Day will upgrade the first player mark with a chipboard to wood in every copy of that. Cool, looks good. Agents of copy. You're going to get new cards. Mini but mighty. Cool. 2 new cards. Once again, I can't read the text on these cards, but I get the gist. There's lots of text on this card. I'm assuming there's going to be lots of text on this card. Wooden Loot. This is a great shot. Lost and Found. Wow. These are all kind of bangers, honestly. More cards, upgrade components. Great. Wow. We're cruising towards a really good grade. How to play. Is it a real how to play, though? No offense to Becca, but every time I see one of her videos, it's one of those videos where it's not a real how to play, and you have to end up reading the rule booklet after you get done with it, and then I'm like, oh, God, this is the worst how to play in the world because it completely defeats the purpose. But that being said, it is 8 minutes. So this might actually be a real how to play video, which is cool. Leading off of that, let's play. Okay, cool, great. So we got how to play and a gameplay video leading off, and in my personal opinion, those are the 2 gold standards. Money Machine goes brrr, it does. God, I can't get over that 1,500 print run of every single one of their expansions. That is so good for them. Like, I could only good for them. And that's exactly why you do it, and why I pound my chest time and time again why you do it. Market to the new people. Don't assume they know what the hell your game is. You're not special, you're not unique. Period. And I hate to say that. Unless you're like in the top 100 of all time. You're not. You're going to get lost in the shuffle. So you need to market to them. Don't assume anyone knows what your game is. Now, obviously, a lot of people do, but don't assume it. The first ever solo mode for Boss Monster, we got a solo playthrough. Looky there. That's exactly the video that I'd want next. Because once again, you said there's a new solo mode, and there is there. Great. And it's a digital. That's fine. I don't have issues with that. Cool. Super Boss Monster is a solo dungeon game I've been waiting for. It's quick setup and gameplay. It sure gets to the table often. Wow. That's a great quote, because once again, as a solo gamer, those are things that are very appealing to me. Knowing that I'm going to be able to get a solo game to the table, that I don't just have to leave it set out at the table. I have a solo game literally set up on my table right now, just because I knew it was going to take so long to set it up that I was just going to be like, I'll set it up one night and I'll actually play it the other night because, I don't know, I'm weird. Protect your entire Boss Monster collection. Enough room to hold over 1,000 sleeved cards. Size to fit all the tokens and playmats. Includes extension board for 5 to 6 player mode. Otherwise, Games gets it. And I love the fact they get it. And I'm glad that they get it because they are going to be rewarded. And we're almost out. We're almost done. In and out. Oh my gosh. I'm cruising towards an A+ here. Aside from the main image, where I feel like we should totally just move that box a little bit and then just pop in that especially the solo mode, the 30 minutes. Like, this is great. And then look at this. We have numerous different pledge levels, so we have numerous different prices on the shipping. They didn't do that stupid crap where like, we subsidize, blah, blah, blah. And maybe the fact that they didn't subsidize is why their standard pledge is doing so well. You know, because once again, I always say if your standard pledge is doing this well, it probably means you're doing something wrong. But this is one of the rare times where I feel like they're doing everything right. It ain't their first rodeo, but that doesn't mean a damn thing, Goody. There's so many companies. Go look at Eagle Griffin Games. And there's a lot of content creators who won't call names. But I will, because I check them out and I believe it. And I want to see Eagle Griffin Games succeed. I want to see Eagle Griffin Games pop off 100,000 projects every single time. I want to see Tumbling Dice be $1 million Tumbling Dice Kickstarter. Okay? But they don't. They don't hit big because they just don't get it. But Otherwise Games gets it. Good for them. That was a great page. I was not that excited coming into this. And now I'm just smiling. They organized it like Reload from Colossal Games. I might put these in alphabetical order, but I'm not even gonna. I'm not even gonna. Will the older titles ship separately? That's a great question. No, all items will purchase during the campaign will ship at the same time. Good, it's gonna save you some money. Not you, them. They watch my videos. They have to. I can't. I don't want. Here's the thing. I sound like such a pompous. I feel like I sound like such a jerk by saying that. Like I wonder if they watch my videos, but this is just. It's like if I designed a page, it's like this is so good. It's so good. Full power, cool. 5 to 6 upgrades, neato. Live stream playthrough, great. Keep it. So they're trying to make this a living, breathing project. Hello, the link to access the publication to share isn't working on my phone. Could you send me the link? So I'm doing all the backing, and I need to purchase these. Cool. I would get in here and this is just from today. So hopefully they come in here and answer these questions soon. But this is great. I don't think Boss Monster has ever had a failed Kickstarter or whatever the company is. The sad part of that isn't the standard. It isn't. And that's not necessarily always a bad thing because I see some Kickstarter projects where I'm like, yeah, I see you tried something different and it failed. And that's fine because, industry standard changes. You go look at a project from 5 years ago, it's going to look drastically different from a project from 10 years ago, which is going to look drastically different from a project from 3 years ago. Industry standard morphs over time. And it has to. Once upon a time, and I know this is going to blow some people's mind, Kickstarter was a barren wasteland like GameFound, where there was maybe 5, 10, 15, 20 projects peak that you could back, and now it's I covered the 211th project, so it's yesterday, not this one, obviously. So kudos. They got to do good customer service here. Yeah. Are they in here? So all these are from the last 5. Oh my gosh, look at all these comments just in the last few hours. This is every single one of these comments are from the last 24 hours. Just crazy awesome engagement. Good. And they got super backers in here answering questions, which once again is why super backers are worth their weight in gold and why you should treat them like such. So here's the question. Is it an A or is it an A+? Because there's some nitpicks. But at the end of the day, I think I gave 2 or 3 point ups. This is an A+. This is an A+ and a note home to your teacher saying, if I could give him an A++, I would. And we're in and out in 24 minutes. You've got my money in 24 minutes, and you have potentially convince someone who didn't like Boss Monster that much that, hey, maybe I'll give it another whirl. Great. A+ for sure. See, Goody says, no rule booklet. Oh, Chris. Okay, so I would say it's a third of a point grade bump down, but once again, I just said I'll give him an A++, so I'm going to go with an A+. Because at the end of the day, no rule booklet, I feel like a lot of the time could be canceled out by a how to play video. So, yeah, A+. Fantastic. Love it. I wish every day was like checking this out. Kudos to them. Just kudos. That's it. I got nothing else to say. Let me know in the comments below what's your final grade. And quick show note, there will be no show tomorrow, but I am thinking about doing kind of an impromptu live stream at some point, potentially between 10 a.m. and 11:30 a.m. tomorrow, which is going to be Behind the Corner, where I talk about how much money the channel made in the last 3 months, which was not particularly much because I've really not had my foot on the gas recently. And also asking for your help as I talk about how I'm pivoting into being a Kickstarter consultation service. And so if you want to, check that out. If not, no worries. And I will be back on Thursday. But have a great one. Bye-bye, and kudos to Brotherwise. Just chef's kiss. Chef's kiss.